We're talking about internship opportunities here at Carl Stahl Sava Industries today. Hey everybody, Scott Dailey here from Carl Stahl Sava Industries, and I'm joined by Bryan Bartnick, who is a mechanical engineer intern. Welcome, Bryan.
Thank you for having me, Scott. I greatly appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, you bet. And what's cool about talking to Bryan is we've never shot a video or discussed openly the interning experience of one of our interns. So I'm really actually pretty delighted to have you. So let's dive right in. So why don't you just tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so I graduated from Dover High School in June of 2021 and began studying at NJIT, the New Jersey Institute of Technology, the following fall. In fact, I'll be a sophomore there this year.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And I major in mechanical engineering, as you alluded to. And for my career aspirations, I would really love to enter the manufacturing field as a mechatronics automation engineer or a sales or applications engineer.
And what is it about automation, mechatronics, and if you don't mind, sales engineering, which I'd love to hear more about as the company's marketing and sales lead? It's exciting to me to think that a young engineer like yourself might be interested in business development. So we'll tackle that a little bit separately, but why don't you start by just telling me why automation and mechatronics is such an interest of yours?
Yeah, so robotics has always been a passion of mine. When I was younger, I would take things apart to see how they would work. And the fact that no two systems are alike kind of adds to the fun, really. It's like a big mystery, a big puzzle that you get to figure out as you're going.
Yeah, sure.
And this passion drove me to joining the robotics team in high school, first as a member of the Bot Ball League, and then later as the first...
And the Bot Ball League is what?
It's like a small tabletop robotics competition.
Okay.
Where schools compete against each other.
Local schools, right? It's kind of a close-knit community?
Local schools in like the New Jersey, New York area.
Okay,
And then later, as the part of the first robotics competition founded by Dean Kamen, that is a much larger global robotics competition.
Okay.
It's alliance-centered, so each school has a team, theoretically and practically. And there's basically alliances of 3 teams competing against each other at competitions, regional competitions.
Sure. Are the robots the same as the tabletop version of the same competition, or does it get a little bit more bold and courageous?
They're bolder. They're bigger. I would say they're industrial size.
And they're achieving a more ambitious task than the tabletop alternative.
Yes.
Okay.
And students get to design and construct and test these robots in a span of 6 weeks. And what's really cool is seeing all the different, the sportsmanship and the cooperation between teams, like helping each other.
Right. Everybody wants everybody else to succeed.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And to be honest, I loved working on these robots so much. And the last 2 years of my high school experience were centered around this robotics program. And I loved it so much that I actually returned as a college student mentor type thing.
To your high school?
Yeah, to my high school.
Very nice.
So I really love the program, and I want to stick with it.
I guess enough to return to it, sure, yeah.
Yeah, and really help the future students like develop the same passion that I have.
And what about the sales engineering? Tell me a little bit about your love for that.
So I love to design things, and I love to work with people, and I love to research and develop things. So you get to do a lot of that stuff as a sales or applications or design engineer. You get to work with customers to make and negotiate and close deals.
That's my world. Yeah,
you get to work with customers on designing what they want, like what they want out of their product. You get to help them design. You get to research and develop new products, like design and test them. You get to do all sorts of things that are really, and it's like an interdisciplinary field.
It is, right. You have to look at drawings and collaborate with our engineering customers to build a better mousetrap, right? There's oftentimes we get a drawing and that's version 1.0, and 18 months later in the same project, you're on who knows what revision you're on. So you're right. When you're in sales engineering, you're not just hustling, right? You're not just scoring deals and closing deals. You're actually working with the other engineers on the science and perfecting the science of the parts themselves. So you're right. It is sort of a mix of the two worlds kind of colliding. You're right.
Yeah. And then going back to if I may,
Sure, please.
the mechatronics, there's also some real world problems that manufacturing businesses face that I would like to solve.
For example?
Mainly, there's two things mainly. There's reducing the ergonomic risks faced by employees, and then there's streamlining the production processes so that you can get parts out the door faster and more efficiently, and basically doing more work, an increased amount of work in a reduced amount of time.
And that's probably gratifying. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that engineers are gratified by what they're creating, right? So much of the work is an exercise in realizing an idea, right? So I imagine it's incredibly satisfying for you as a student coming here to actually apply what you're learning to be an engineer for a period of time anyway, right? While you're still studying to become one. It's probably incredibly satisfying, right? To see ideas come to fruition, actually be a participant in the idea phase of this.
Absolutely.
So you've interned here twice, last year and this year. Why Sava? Why come back a second time for a second year?
So really, Sava is a great place to learn, and that is why I came back here.
And what makes it a great place to learn?
So the professionals here, no matter what department they're in, what field they're in, whether it's sales and marketing, engineering, quality, they're super knowledgeable about their field and are willing to help you learn and grow as a professional, or a budding professional, I should say.
Sure, yeah.
And I've gotten to do so many things here that I've really absorbed a lot, and now can apply the theoretical, or I'm beginning to learn how to apply the theoretical concepts that you learn in school to the real world in like the workplace.
Sure.
So I've worked on life cycle testing.
I was just going to ask you, what have you been doing with your time here?
Yeah. So really what I've been doing is I've been doing all sorts of stuff. I've been very busy. So I'll just go through a couple
Yeah, you
highlights.
bet. Please share.
I've been working on the life cycle testing, which is I set up. There's a system that one of our engineers implemented when he first started here a couple years ago, where you take a cable that we're producing for a customer, usually a miniature tungsten cable used in surgical robotics, and you set it up along a system of pulleys and let it actuate back and forth until it snaps. And you basically record how many cycles it made before it snapped, its lifespan, practically. And then you get to analyze the data. So that's been really cool. And then I've been working under the supervision of another one of our engineers on repairing and documenting a 3D printer. So I've been learning all about the 3D printing process and like what exactly goes into it. So
fascinating, right?
Yeah, it's actually been really cool because I didn't really have much experience with a 3D printer before.
And we have engineers here who have bucket loads of knowledge on how to use them, right?
Exactly. So being able to learn about 3D printing is honestly really cool. And then on top of that, I've been assisting with inspecting parts for defects. I've been entering and analyzing data into an SPC software. That's the quality side. I've been preparing data reports to accompany shipments of our products to their respective customers. I've been reviewing NCMRs, non-conforming material reports, for verifying return products and issuing customer credits. I've even traveled with the engineering team to different manufacturing sites to assess equipment. And really, the culmination of it all is I've been practicing my mechanical design skills, learning under their guidance, computer-aided design skills, namely those applied through the SolidWorks program, which is an engineering industry staple.
Right, right. Yeah, you have been busy, haven't you?
Yeah.
So of all these cool things you've been doing, what have you found most fulfilling? What tasks have you been undertaking that are kind of rising above the others?
So really, as an aspiring mechatronics or sales engineer, the mechanical design has really been very fulfilling for me.
And why is that?
Well, I'm a believer of continuous improvement that is lifelong learning. And
engineers, just as a quick side, they really are lifelong learners by their very definition, right?
Yeah,
They're constantly trying to break new ground.
Exactly. So, but applying that belief of lifelong learning, being a lifelong learner to mechanical design, improving my skills, identifying and dissecting systems to see how they interact and how they work together and all of that, and just being able to apply it design-wise has really been fulfilling, because as a mechatronics and sales engineer, as I said, you are designing solutions for your employer to implement, to make things easier and to help them.
Right.
So it's really just amazing being able to work.
Yeah, it's a special experience to know that I've shared this with you before. I've shared this with other of my colleagues. I find it to be an incredibly special distinction, however sappy it might seem, that when you're standing at the deli counter later on today, there's a really good chance you're the only guy standing there who is actually making cables that are going to shorten hospitalizations. They're going to shorten the risks that follow procedures, that mitigate the severity and the invasiveness of procedures. I mean, that's a really special distinction you get to enjoy as a career, to know that you're helping our engineers design and deploy cables and robotic systems all over the world that are going to make life better. That's a really satisfying experience, I would imagine.
Exactly.
I'm not an engineer at all, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Even 10,000 feet removed, I'm proud to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So I imagine if you're there with the dirt on your hands, it's got to be a special feeling.
Yeah, because it's like, to sum it up, basically, you're basically designing something and then watching it come to life and actually improve the world. Because that's what engineers, at the heart of their jobs, engineers are supposed to design things and implement things to make the world a better place.
Well said. Very well said. So I get a sense of what you liked most, let's call it. But what about the engineers themselves? Have you worked with an engineer or one over another that has been especially memorable and satisfying to you? And if so, can you share a little bit about that?
So really, the best part about working with the engineers is getting to know them individually and getting to understand what they do.
Okay.
So with one of our design engineers, I've learned about the mechanical design process and how to design those systems. And I've also learned about the importance of R&D, research and development.
Sure, yeah. A huge part of our everyday here.
So, and that is something I worked on with the life cycle testing. And beyond that, I've also worked with one of our senior manufacturing engineers who has really shown me the machining and tooling aspect of the job. I got to learn about machines like the CNC and the lathe, and I got to learn more about the tool making process.
Right.
Then with one of our production engineers, he really helped me by providing insight into our products, namely the push-pull control cables, which I actually wrote an article for.
A very good article. It'll be on the
department.
internet soon enough. In the next pair of weeks, it'll be on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well done, by the way.
Thank you. And
You're welcome.
It was really cool to work with him and to garner a larger comprehension of what the company actually makes.
Sure.
Like what the cables actually do, what they are. And then one of our newest additions to the team, who actually just graduated college, he's great because I can relate to him more because he's an ex-college.
Yeah, you're literally separated by only a pair of years.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's very easy to relate with him, but he's also like a 3D printing super genius. So he's really he's really provided me with a lot of insight into the 3D printing world and into this 3D printer that we've been working on together. So learning a lot under him about 3D printing is just amazing.
And it's been a great conversation. We're just about done. I have one more question for you. And thank you, Bryan. This has been a ton of fun. What would you say to other internship candidates, folks, other students out there that want to become mechanical engineers in the throes of their studies who might consider Sava a great destination for an internship?
So really what is important for them to know is that anyone of any level of skill can thrive here. Because, as I said, Sava is a great place to learn with employees that are willing to help you learn and grow. With that said, though, I would highly recommend basic understanding and use of CAD programs.
Without it, you think you'd be at a bit of a disadvantage coming here?
No, not really, because they would teach you to.
Right, so it's a nice to have. It'll help you kind of be a little bit less flat-footed when you start.
These are just qualities that are nice to have.
Got it.
An adequate understanding of mathematics and some technical skills.
Okay, so Bryan, it's been a ton of fun talking to you. I am excited to see how your article does on the internet once it's published. It'll be published in a pair of weeks. Look out for Bryan's article. He wrote a really detailed article, a couple thousand words on push-pull cable assemblies, which I think you're going to love. Again, thank you so much, Bryan. You can find us all over social media, and if you have questions or even comments, leave them in the comments below the video. We'd love to hear from you. And thank you so much, everyone. We haven't made a video in quite some time while we got some technology settled. We're delighted to be back and making videos and plenty more to come. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.